Behind the glitz and glamour of the NBA, there lies a realm of off-court incidents that are as bewildering as they are captivating. From gambling referees to armed locker room showdowns, these stories reveal that the drama doesn't end when the final buzzer sounds. Join us as we dive into the untold tales of NBA players whose off-court exploits left us shaking our heads in disbelief. Let's start with Tim Donaghy, the referee who decided that blowing whistles wasn't enough. He needed a game plan that involved rolling dice. Now, referees have a tough job, keeping up with superhuman athletes, making split-second calls, and dodging stray basketballs like they're in a real-life dodgeball game. But Donaghy thought, why not add gambling to the mix? Picture this, Donaghy standing on the sidelines, not just with a whistle, but also with a little notepad to jot down his latest bets. It's like catching your math teacher cheating during a test. Wait a minute, Mr. Ref, are you giving extra points to the team I bet on? And it wasn't just the bets. Donaghy was dishing out info like a fast food drive-thru attendant. He was like, yeah, you might want to know that the star player sprained his ankle during practice, so place your bets accordingly. It's like he was giving away the secret recipe to winning, but instead of fried chicken, it was the recipe for rigging games. Now, I'm all for innovation, but turning an NBA game into a casino game? That's taking things to a whole new level. Donaghy's scandal was like a mix of sports and Ocean's 11.
Congratulations, you're a dead man.
But with way less style and a whole lot more court appearances.
You expect us to believe that you did nothing to manipulate the outcome of an NBA game.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I can just go back and tell you again that the FBI and even the NBA concluded without a doubt that I did not fix NBA games.
Chris Birdman Anderson, a guy whose journey through the NBA was wilder than a flock of seagulls at a beach picnic. He started from the bottom, playing overseas and in minor leagues, but when he finally made it to the NBA, he soared like, well, a bird, only to face turbulence that even a Boeing would envy. First, let's talk about the drugs of abuse incident. It's like he accidentally wandered into a DARE program instead of a locker room.
Andersen tested positive for a substance on the league's drugs of abuse list, which includes cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine. Abusing drugs on that list results in harsher penalties than marijuana violations, and Andersen was suspended for 2 years.
Andersen was suspended in 2006 for testing positive for substances that make you scratch your head and go, seriously, dude? It's like he mistook the NBA for the playground and thought he was trading Pokemon cards instead of playing basketball. But hold on, because Andersen wasn't done there. He made a comeback, rising from the ashes like the Phoenix Suns. Fitting, right? He was the embodiment of what doesn't kill you makes you stronger mantra, dunking his way back into our hearts. In the end, the Birdman's journey might have been filled with ups and downs, but at least it gave us a glimpse of what it's like to navigate the skies of the NBA while facing challenges that are, well, more perplexing than a flamingo doing slam dunks.
What statement did you want to make?
Look at me now.
Latrell Sprewell, a name that sounds like it belongs in a Shakespearean drama, but instead of poetic monologues, we got a physical altercation that would make the Monagues and Capulets blush. Imagine this, a talented NBA player, a coach, a heated argument, and suddenly it's not about alley-oops, but about chokeholds. It's like watching a sports movie, but with a twist. Instead of the coach giving an inspiring speech, he's dodging left hooks. And while most players are known for their handles and jump shots, Sprewell decided to show off his skills in a different arena, wrestling. Who needs to shoot three-pointers when you can shoot menacing glares and throat-grabbing moves? But let's not forget the legal consequences that followed this clash of hoops and chokes. Sprewell's banishment from the NBA for a year was like a timeout in the most serious game of all, the game of life. It was a moment that left us all scratching our heads and wondering, is this really what happens when million-dollar athletes have a bad day at the office? So, thanks to Latrell Sprewell, we now know that not every and one involves a basketball. Sometimes it's about confrontations that have more drama than a reality TV show. Let's talk about Gilbert Arenas, a man who turned a locker room into a crime scene. When most players are thinking about game plans and strategies, Arenas was apparently contemplating what items from his home arsenal he could bring to work. It's like he misunderstood the term bringing your A game and thought it meant bringing your firearms. Arenas and his teammate Jarvaris Crittenton had a dispute over a gambling debt. Arenas placed guns in the locker room, turning the place into a scene from an action movie. It's like the NBA meets James Bond, but without the tuxedos and cool gadgets. Of course, this kind of locker room behavior doesn't fly in the NBA, and both players face suspensions for their actions. It was a bizarre twist in the world of professional sports where take your shot suddenly meant something completely different. In the end, the incident raised a question that had never been asked before in basketball history. Is it a technical foul if you shoot a jump shot with an actual gun? Fortunately, we'll never have to find out. Now, O.J. Mayo wasn't in the news for his citrusy sweet basketball skills, but for something far less refreshing, violating the NBA's anti-drug program. You know you're in for a wild ride when a basketball player's name is associated with drugs, and it's not a euphemism for dunking so hard it's like he's on something. Mayo's suspension was like a reality check that not even a slam dunk could fix. The league had a strict no drugs policy, and Mayo apparently thought he could bypass it with a little substance experimentation. It's like trying to score a layup with your eyes closed. You're just asking for trouble.
This is the first time in 10 years the NBA has banned a player like this for drug abuse. Typically, under the rules, the only time a player can be banned for this kind of situation would be for testing positive for what is known as a drug of abuse.
But let's be honest, being a professional athlete is not easy. The pressure, expectations, and nonstop travel are like a recipe for stress. And while most of us might unwind with a good book or a cup of tea, Mayo decided to take a detour down the not-so-chill path of banned substances. So, thanks to O.J. Mayo, we learned that in the NBA, there's no high like the thrill of victory. And that should be enough to keep players away from any substances that might make them trip up.
Allow me to introduce you to Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose is known for his explosive drives to the basket, MVP award, and his knack for scoring on the court. But off the court, he found himself in a legal tangle that was more intricate than a game-winning play. Picture this: a star player, a night out, and a series of events that led to a legal accusation of sexual assault. It's like a script for a courtroom drama that no one saw coming. Rose was facing a different kind of opponent, one that couldn't be crossed over or defended against with the shot block.
Derrick Rose is seeking $70,000 from a woman who accused him and two of his friends of sexual assault in civil court.
The case wasn't just about basketball skills. It was about consent, accountability, and the blurry lines that can exist in the world of relationships. It was like a crossover move that left everyone questioning what they thought they knew about a player they had cheered for on the court. In the end, the legal process shed light on the complexities of real life and reminded us that even our favorite athletes can be caught in situations that are as unpredictable as a buzzer-beating shot.
Rose was found not guilty by unanimous decision in an October trial in Los Angeles, tossing out the woman's $21.5 million lawsuit.
Moving on to Jason Kidd, a point guard known for his impeccable court vision and ability to make perfect passes. But in a twist that not even the most skilled passer could have predicted, Kidd found himself facing legal consequences for a very different kind of pass. Imagine this: a heated argument with your significant other that escalates into an altercation. Now imagine that you're a professional basketball player in the public eye. The result? Legal charges for domestic violence assault. It's like a plot twist that even the best sports analysts didn't see coming.
The Suns are in the midst of a big 6-game road trip without Jason Kidd. He's staying home after being accused of hitting his wife last week. The Suns guard is not expected to play until the end of the month. While the Suns learn to live without Kidd's NBA-leading 10 assists a game, he had some explaining to do Saturday for his trouble at home.
Allen Iverson, a name synonymous with dazzling crossovers, fearless drives to the rim, and a hairstyle that defied the laws of gravity. But behind the iconic number 3 jersey and those unforgettable Reebok commercials, there was a man who faced off-court challenges that left even the toughest defenders scratching their heads. It's 2002, and the Philadelphia 76ers star guard finds himself in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Now, usually, basketball players are known for dunking basketballs, not kicking down apartment doors. But Iverson apparently didn't get that memo, as he barged into an apartment in search of his wife, not realizing that this wasn't just another defender he could juke out of his way. Imagine the scene. The MVP of the league using his skills to intimidate not his opponents, but two unsuspecting men who had nothing to do with the game of basketball. Now, there's no denying that Iverson's basketball prowess was a force to be reckoned with. But when it came to off-court matters, it seemed like he was trying to drive to the hoop blindfolded. Facing charges like trespassing and unlicensed gun possession, Iverson was stuck in a legal pickle that not even his legendary crossover moves could get him out of. But here's where things get interesting. Amidst all the chaos, Iverson's teammates, coaches, and management stood by him like the ultimate defense squad. They didn't abandon him like a missed shot. Instead, they rallied around him, emphasizing that everyone deserves a fair trial before they're pronounced guilty. And while the legal case played out in the courtrooms, Iverson's legacy on the court remained untarnished. Fans still cheered for him, and the off-court troubles didn't overshadow his impact on the game. It's almost like they were saying, hey, we love the killer crossover, but we're not letting one mistake define your whole career. So, in the end, Allen Iverson's story is a reminder that even when a basketball legend shoots an air ball in real life, the game isn't over. Sometimes, even the best players fumble off the court, but that doesn't mean they're out of bounds for goods.
Welcoming Allen to the Hall of Fame are Larry Brown, Julius Erving, John Thompson. Ladies and gentlemen, Allen Iverson.
And there you have it, folks, an array of jaw-dropping narratives that take you beyond the painted lines of the basketball court. These stories serve as a reminder that even the most remarkable athletes are human, subject to the same trials and tribulations that define the human experience. So, whether they're battling anxiety, making questionable decisions, or facing legal challenges, these players demonstrate that life's challenges are just as much a part of their journey as their slam dunks and three-pointers. If you've been as intrigued as we have by these off-court sagas, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment sharing your thoughts on these stories, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more captivating NBA content. Until next time, keep dribbling through life's challenges and shooting for success.